Kaido is still alive, but he won't be for long. Shiryu's on his way to Wano. He will finish him off, claim the Dragonfruit, and put it into his sword. This prediction is not based on a gut feeling. When I looked deeper into it, I was blown away by how powerful the reasons for it were. Chapter 1068 is around the corner. Shiryu's Wano heist could happen any chapter now. If you listen to this video, you won't be surprised when it does. I will also tell you about Blackbeard's third Devilfruit. It is in Wano. Yamato decided to stay behind because she believed that Momo wasn't strong enough to protect Wano on his own. Ryokugyu stated that Kaido's rule was the deterrent that kept enemies away. With Kaido gone, Wano is not safe anymore. Someone will attack it. Otherwise, Yamato's decision to not sail with Luffy would have been for nothing. A foe so strong that Yamato's strength will be needed will appear. Blackbeard sent Kusan and Van Orga to Totland when Big Mom was away. He knows that Kaido was defeated and that the three captains, one of which he's fighting right now, have left Wano. If he has strong enough men to spare, he will surely send them to plunder Wano too. Conveniently, his strongest underling is likely from the land of the samurai. Many people have pointed that out already. Shiryu was born on the Grand Line. He is really into swordsmanship. He used an old samurai expression when he cut down guards at Impel Down. And his epithet of the rain resembles the epithets of others from Wano, like Raiu of the mist. Shiryu would be a fitting opponent for Yamato. They are in the same tier, weaker than an admiral or an emperor, but stronger than most right-hand men. They have one other thing in common. They are both Odin, in a way. Yamato calls herself Odin and tries to be like him. Shiryu unintentionally mirrors Odin. Odin was detained in Wano and got freed by Whitebeard. Shiryu was detained in Impel Down and was freed by Blackbeard. Odin became the commander of Whitebeard's 2nd division. Shiryu became the captain of Blackbeard's 2nd ship. Kaido has to be still alive. If he had died, Oda would have made it clear. In this series, every seeming death that is not confirmed is fake. If Pell could survive that bomb in Alabasta, then the strongest creature, famous for surviving numerous suicide attempts, can survive magma. Luffy hit him into the volcano. If Kaido had actually died, Luffy would have become a murderer. But he is no killer. Shiryu is. Kaido has no role to play anymore, but his Devilfruit has. Shiryu will find the heavily injured Kaido and end him. His name, Shiryu, even tells us that. Shi means death and Ryu means dragon. The samurai famous for killing a dragon is Zoro's ancestor, Ryuma. When Zoro faces Shiryu, it will not just be about defeating an underling of Blackbeard to help Luffy. Zoro will have his own reasons. He will stand before the usurper of his ancestral legacy. Instead of ZKK, we got SKK. In killing Kaido, Shiryu will have achieved what Odin failed to do, and Zoro is now carrying Odin's sword Enma. Many doubt that Shiryu will be able to give Zoro a hard fight. He is strong but not as impressive as Zoro's other future opponents, Mihawk and Fujitora. Even though the Blackbeard pirates collected many strong Devilfruits, the one that Shiryu received was disappointing. Invisibility makes it easier for him to sneak up on people, but it does not increase his direct combat power. So he needs a power up, but he can't just eat a second fruit like his captain did. Or maybe he can, sort of. His sword can eat one. After he has slain Kaido, he will put the Dragonfruit into his blade. The two Devilfruit infused weapons we have encountered thus far, Mr. Force's gun and Spandam's sword, were useless, nothing more than jokes. Putting Devilfruits into weapons has so much potential. It would be a waste to not have at least one person make good use of such a potent tool. The Straw Hats are currently on Egghead. Vegapunk could give them information on feeding Devilfruits to weapons, parallel to Shiryu actually doing it. Oda already discussed putting Kaido's fruit into a sword. In an SBS, when asked which Devilfruit he would give each Straw Hat, he said Zoro would get the Dragonfruit for one of his swords. Zoro will not get a Devilfruit. Upgrading just one of his swords that much would probably throw him out of balance, ruin his signature 3 sword style. It is also clear that he will become the strongest swordsman based on his own skill. A dragon sword would be a shortcut. Using it to overcome Mihawk would be against his honor. Blackbeard pirates on the other hand have no honor, and they also rely on Devilfruits like no other crew. They even gave Stronger the mythical Pegasus Zone. If that sick horse deserved such a valuable fruit, then Shiryu's fine sword ought to have a mythical zone too. Teach will overcome Hakiman Shanks by ingesting multiple Devilfruits. In line with the Devilfruit supremacist agenda of the Blackbeard pirates, Shiryu will try to triumph over better swordsmen with the ultimate Devilfruit enhanced sword. His sword is called Raiu, which means thunderstorm. When Kaido transforms into a dragon, it begins to storm. When Shiryu draws Raiu after its enhancement, the dragon sword might summon storms as well. Storms that include rain, and Shiryu is called of the rain. Plus, as I said earlier, his name contains the word Ryu, which means dragon. Blackbeard still lacks a third fruit, but he won't want the Dragonfruit for himself. The fight against Kaido dragged on for so long, Luffy won't fight a blue dragon again. The Quake fruit gives him great attack power, and due to the Darkness fruit, he feels pain twice as much. Blackbeard needs defense. The Dragon fruit would give him thick skin, but this is not the best way to fix his weak spot. He was picky when choosing his first two fruits. His last fruit will not just give him more tenacity, which every Zoan does, it will give him extra lives. Orochi died and his fruit respawned somewhere on Wano. Shiryu will find it. Blackbeard's two fruits are considered to be the strongest in their respective categories. Few would argue that Orochi's former fruit is the strongest Zoan. I would. The fruit had a pathetic user. In the hands of a capable individual, people will see it for what it is. Giving 7 extra lives to a top tier is outright unfair. Defeating Blackbeard once is hard, but he will have to be defeated 8 times. It is the perfect fruit for him. Devilfruits often represent the personality of the user. Doflamingo, a puppet master, got the string fruit. Orochi could not just transform into a snake, he also was one in a metaphorical sense, meaning that he was deceitful. He fooled the court in Wano, presenting himself as a loyal servant until he had the chance to take over the country. Blackbeard fooled the Whitebeard pirates in a similar manner, until he got the chance to steal the Darkness fruit. He was as insidious as Orochi, a worthy successor. In addition to being a backstabbing liar, he also takes huge risks, which almost cost him his life more than once. During the Marineford War, Magellan and Whitebeard each almost killed him. He tends to let his opponent injure him first. He needs those extra lives. Shanks will probably take at least one of them off him. This might even be how he wins against Shanks. Red Hair will be ignorant about the fruit's special ability. Even Zoan expert Kaido didn't know about it. He erroneously assumed Orochi was dead after he cut the head off. Shanks will kill Blackbeard and believe that he was victorious. Then Blackbeard will win through a surprise attack. On Blackbeard's Jolly Roger, we not just find 3 skulls, but also 8 bones, like the number of heads the snake of that Devilfruit has. In Skypiea, in the anime, there's even a frame of an ancient drawing, where Nika fights an 8-headed snake. So Luffy will also fight an 8-headed snake, and he will fight Blackbeard. After Shiryu has obtained the 2 mythical Zoans, Yamato will attack him. He will be satisfied with his loot and leave.